Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this session where we are going to speak directly to you, our brothers and sisters, many of you who are still in school at the university. Some of you have probably just left school. And those that are very early in their careers, just starting out and looking to forge a way ahead. My name is Maurice Taremwa, and I'm the IT Audit Manager for Security and Forensics at DFCU Bank. I have the pleasure to introduce to you or welcome my co-panelist of the afternoon, Mr. Alan Muhumuza. I think you can briefly introduce yourself.
Welcome to this session, everybody. I am Alan Muhumuza, like Maurice has said. I work with KCB Bank as an IT Security Manager. I also volunteer at ISACA as the Academic Relations Director. My docket includes making sure that we bring such sessions to you guys and you learn a few things from them. I think we'll give an opportunity to Nicholas, who is the moderator of the session.
Yes, indeed.
To take us through a couple of things before we go on. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Back to you, Mr. Nicholas.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alan and Mr. Morris. I greet everyone in our audience, live online. I say good afternoon to those in East Africa, good morning, and good evening to those who are in other areas of the world. I welcome you to this session, mentoring on career growth for university students. As our panelists have briefly introduced themselves, there are two, and that is Mr. Maurice Taremwa and Mr. Muhumuza Alan Mutabazi. Mr. Morris is an IT audit manager, forensics and security at the DFCU Bank, Uganda Limited. He's a certified information systems auditor and a certified PMG accredited training provider for CISA. He's the immediate past director, education and academic relations on ISACA Kampala Chapter Board, and is a member of the Institute of Internal Auditors. Mr. Morris has over 13 years of industry experience in audit, risk management, cybersecurity, information systems governance, controls, and forensic investigation. Our second panelist, Mr. Muhumuza Alan Mutabazi, is a technology security manager at KCB Bank, Uganda, and currently is the academic relations director at ISACA Kampala chapter. He holds a Master of Science in Computer Science, bachelor's degree in Information Technology. He's a certified information systems auditor. He's also certified in Prince2 and Information Technology Infrastructure Library Foundations. He has over 9 years of experience in the information technology field, and he has done a lot of work ranging from IT security, systems administration, information systems audit, network audits, digital forensics, risk analysis, data analysis, and very many others. And previously, he served at AH Consulting, Ernst & Young, and Uganda Revenue Authority. He's passionate about supporting young professionals and future professionals to enhance their potential as they join the workforce. And therefore, them sharing mentoring on career growth for university students is their passion from the profile that I've read for you. And therefore, I take this pleasure to welcome them. And before they begin speaking, I would like to inform you, everyone in the audience, that we're going to be receiving questions and answers from slido.com, and the hashtag is ISACA InfoSec 2020. I'm going to share it on Slido for details. Thank you. I take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Morris to begin the session.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. Indeed, it is my pleasure. And as we start, I would like to begin from where you stopped, and that is with the Slido interface. I would like to pose a question to all of you that are watching this session right now. At what point of study are you? Just give us some feedback. Are you fresher, as we used to call ourselves back in the day? Are you a finalist? Have you just left university? Are you fresh in your career? What are you studying at the university? We're interested to get some feel of what kind of experience is it that you have. Or are you, as we say in Uganda, on the street? Or are you doing a job that you did not exactly study for? So that is feedback that will be good for us as we start. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share my presentation. It will be a brief one. And okay, I think it should be coming to your screen momentarily. Yes, thank you. So, question, what is career growth? Okay, because that's what we are discussing today, to find out how a student can identify and select their career and position themselves. And when I talk in the third person themselves, I'm actually talking about you. How can you select your career and position yourself in this demanding world with these technology trends that we are seeing? First of all, let's make an attempt to define what a career is. And I'll borrow from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which has been here from 1828. So it defines a career as a profession for which one trains and which is undertaken as a permanent calling, okay? These are very important words. There is training, and you're looking at it as a permanent calling. So in other words, we are not looking at moonlighting here and there. That would not be a career, no. And so you've heard of people having, say, a career in medicine, or now a career in technology, okay? And you've heard of people being called, say, career diplomats, or this one is a career programmer. I'm sure you may not have a career programmer on your village, but you could be the first one, okay? Although I'm sure you have career soldiers, because the profession has been here for that, long enough. And the other definition is of a field for or pursuit of consecutive progressive achievement, especially in public, professional, or business life. Some keywords here I would like us to take note of. Pursuit of consecutive progressive achievement. These words are very instructive, that you're pursuing something consecutively and you are achieving in a progressive manner. For example, those of you that might have read some American history, I doubt it's in any of our syllabus. But when you talk of George Washington, they talk of his career as a soldier. So when we speak of you, John, Andrew, that is watching right now, what shall we speak of you? Or what shall your grandchildren be able to speak of you? So in order to look at this question of career, there are some things that we need to start with, and I would propose to start with the end in mind, okay? We are in the digital era. We've been discussing digital transformation from yesterday till today. So what are some of the developments that have actually happened? And in 3 areas: employment, income, and skills. I'm sure you want to be able to pay your own rent. You want to be able to buy your girlfriend a nice meal. Yes, even the girlfriends, you want to buy your boyfriend a very nice gift, maybe for his birthday, but that requires you to have income. In order to have an income, you may require to be employed somewhere. And for you to be employed, you must possess a skill. Otherwise, why is the employer going to pay you whatever they're going to pay you? So the education system has not kept pace with the changing nature of the work. The sad reality is that for those of you at university, by the time you leave the university, it is sad but true. What you would have learned in class will already be obsolete. So you are going to enter a job market that requires skills that you have no idea about, if all you did was stick to your syllabus, okay? But thank God that you're here today, because we are going to discuss and have some pointers about how you can actually be able to upstage this education system that has not kept up with pace. On a global scale, there was a recent survey by LinkedIn, okay? And 37% of respondents said that the current job does not utilize their skills or provide enough challenge. So if you're to talk to your sisters or brothers or that have joined the job market before you, a very big percentage of them are applying skills that they did not necessarily learn in school. A friend of mine used to say that we go to school to learn how to think. And I think there is a lot of truth in that. So if you are about to complete your university, you should have improved your thinking skills, your analytical skills, and that is actually what is going to help you. So how has this digital transformation affected work? Because from school, you want to go and be able to work. So one reality is that many activities that are being carried out or that were carried out by people in employment have a high potential of being automated. So you could have heard of something called RPA. You know, in the technology world, we like to abbreviate so many things. That is simple. You could say, there are those that will say robotic process automation, or you could simplify it and say repetitive process automation. So if there is any process that is repetitive in nature, where you simply do the same thing day in, day out, the reality is that that process will sooner than later be automated. That is one. Two, that the digital transformation that we now actually have digital talent platforms, which make it easier for you to find work that suits your skills, okay? But that means you need to know what your skills are. And these platforms will be able to match you where your skills are best needed. So we have digitally enabled independent work, and it is on the rise. You do not necessarily have to sit in some high-rise building for you to make a living. COVID has actually shown us what we have already spoken about in theoretical terms. It has shown us that you do not need to sit in an office and suited up to be able to deliver. You can sit at your home with your phone, with an internet connection, and you earn a living. It is very possible. Think about the conference that we're having right now. Last year, we invited a number of you to Speak Resort Munyonyo for this very same session. Now, how many of you had to spend transport money to be here today? Maybe none. Maybe you just moved to your neighbor who had a better internet connection. So that's the reality that we are in now. And on the right, you can see some of the platforms that I was talking about, where you can be able to go and find work that can suit your skills, okay? We are starting with the end in mind, okay? So I will not go through them because I've listed them for you, but there you are, okay? Basically, you can be your own freelancer and take up work in Europe, take up work in the Americas, take up work in the Asian continent, while you're seated here in Uganda. I just want to acknowledge the sources there, McKinsey and techradar.com. So for those at university, I'm sure you've been told about plagiarism. So it's a skill, it's a skill that you should also pick up, that if you use somebody's source work, please recognize them for what they have been able to provide to you, okay? Yeah, I'm not trying to be another lecturer or teacher, but that's how the world is. So something not to forget here, that technology creates new jobs and income possibilities, okay? Let me use this example again. You are able to see us from wherever you are, but the person that is making this possible, okay, at the time when we are holding a physical conference, would they have earned from this opportunity? No. But here we are. So if you can maybe become an expert at live streaming sessions or conferences or whatever, that is a new income stream that is coming up. Now, your skills in, you know, we had a course at the university that was to do with the graphics. And sometimes I would wonder, when am I going to do this thing? Because I didn't see myself going to NASA Road, okay? But graphic design has come to the Silicon Valley. Okay, of course it was there, but in Uganda, we would think, people who do graphic design are going to sit at NASA Road. But here we are. For anyone to reach you, even for the highest authority in this world, you saw so many televised addresses when the lockdown had just come. So technology indeed is creating new jobs and income possibilities. So know that there are many more possibilities now than before. Again, a 2011 study by McKinsey, their Paris office, found that the internet has destroyed 500,000 jobs. But mark this.
Excuse me, Mr. Morris.
Yes, sir.
I would like you to wrap this part a bit very fast before we can be able to switch to Mr. Alan.
Exactly. Actually, this is just one of my last slides, because we needed to start with the end in mind as Alan delves into the nitty-gritty. So as much as it destroyed 500,000 jobs, actually 1.2 million others were created. So an excess of 700,000 jobs. So as we move into this era of digitalization, we need to know the challenges, but also the possible solutions. One, we are having digitization, but of what? Assets. So the physical servers that you wanted to go and administer are now virtual. They are seated somewhere in Europe, and you, the person that is running the infrastructure, is here in Uganda. So they are no longer physical assets. Operations have become digital. If you are in a bank and you want to go and work in the bank and maybe work in the account opening process, it is no longer a very physical operation. It has now become automated, okay? Someone will sit on their end, input their details, and you are able to validate and create their account, okay? So the workforce has also been digitized. Right now, you do not have to walk into a physical place to work. You can actually work from home, okay? As I conclude, there are three rules that we should remember in upskilling and continuous learning. One, specialize. Please don't seek to be a jack of all trades. Find something that interests you and at least complete an introductory course in it. Two, promote your achievements. If you have finished an introductory course, say in Python programming, put it on your profile. Say you have completed this introduction to Python or R. Why not? Instead of just posting that, yesterday was a great night, you can say you have learned a new skill. Three, apply your new skill to a project. You've heard that maybe people are able to use Python in security or vulnerability assessments. Find out, is there someone carrying out maybe a vulnerability assessment, and offer your skill at first for free, okay? So in that way, one, you'll be able to specialize, you are able to let people know the new skill that you have gotten, and then you are also able to apply that new skill. With that, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen is just a list of some of the sites you can visit to upskill: Udemy, Coursera, EDX, Library, Pluralsight. But let me hand to my colleague Alan so that he can delve into the nitty-gritty and what ISACA actually has got for you. Back to you, Nicholas.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maurice Tarema, for the insightful recommendations to the young people pursuing their career, especially maybe those in IT. And I take this opportunity to welcome our second panelist, Mr. Alan Muhumuza. Mr. Alan Muhumuza,
Thank you, Nicholas.
Mr. Alan, it seems I'm unable to hear from you.
Nicholas, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you.
So thank you very much for chairing the session. I'll be talking mainly about what ISACA has in place for the young people. ISACA is trying to ensure that as the times change, it also brings up opportunities for the young people to make sure they are ready for the marketplace, and to make sure that when they go out there, maybe after university, they're able to go do some work and be appreciated by the people who will employ them. I'll start by talking about ISACA. ISACA is an international organization, and which wants to help business technology professionals and the enterprise around the world have a positive potential of technology. As this technology gets deployed, it comes with other issues such as security, mainly security audit and governance. So ISACA tries to fill this gap by creating professionals that are able to support these areas that are being digitized. So I would like to interest you in being able to be part of this group of people who are doing this. But me and Maurice are in that space, so that's why I would like to interest you to join that space. The traditional curriculum does not include such things. So when you go and study, when you come back and go to the market, you find you have no idea about such things, yet they are the things that are moving the market. So ISACA has offerings which are certifications, which include CISA, which is Certified Information Systems Auditor, Certified Risk Management, Certified Information Systems Manager, and those others. So we'll get deeper into them. You may not need them today, but information is power. If you know it, you're better than someone who does not know it. So on the screen, it shows the number of certification holders around the world globally. It shows 15,000, 150,000 for CISA, 226,000 for CRISC, 46,000 for CISM, 8,000 for Seagate. So what does this mean? It means with all the digitizations that has happened around the world, there are only 150,000 people to do the system audits, which creates a sort of a skills gap that would need to be filled. we'll go deeper into the statistics. So this graph shows the 10-year difference in the age membership. So initially I showed you the 15,000 CISA holders, for example. So the graph shows you that in 2009, 16% of them were under 30 and 22% were over 50. Currently in last year, which was 2019, 6% are under 30 and 29% are above the age of 50. This means that in 10 years, around 35,000 professionals plus will be retiring, which means there's need to grow this gap to make sure that when these 35,000 leave the market or leave the industry, there are other people in the industry that are taking up those roles, and it could be you. So I'll go on and show you the areas that ISACA has looked at as pain points today. So that graph shows from childhood to late career. So I'll take you through from childhood, university, and early in the career. So the pain points are lack of exposure to IT awareness. When you're young, you don't know about it. And when you're deciding what you want to do, you do what people at home are telling you. They're like, we need a doctor in this house, so you should go and become a doctor. But you also have no knowledge of these things. So you cannot say, no, I've heard about security and I can go and do security. No, you're like, okay, I'll go and become a doctor or I'll go and become an accountant as per their wishes. But if you know this, you should also be able to say, maybe I'm interested in this career. Then I'll go to university. When you're at university, you pursue the normal routine, the normal coursework. You do your coursework as it's given by the lecturers. I'm not saying do not do your coursework. It's important. You lack a role model who will guide you and tell you what's in the market. So you will just do formal school without knowing what's out there. So what this is about is to let you know what's happening outside, so that even as you complete your university or as you join university or you do your IT courses or accounting courses, you're able to point into a direction and say, I would like to finally do this. So when you get early into your career, that's when you start getting trainings here and there, making sure that you upskill and you align yourself to the market. So I'll stop there. But ISACA is working on fixing these areas. So we'll next go into what the gaps ISACA has seen and how it plans to bridge them or to close them. So there's a plan to do new IT Foundation certifications. These ones will enable you, someone who has left university, because the courses we showed up there require a lot of experience to have them. So you have to have worked a bit and understood what's in the environment to be able to get these certifications. So ISACA is building new foundation certifications for people who are leaving university. Like you can see around the university and early childhood education and university and early career, so that they're able to fix those gaps for us as we leave the university or as we leave school. We're able to get a leaning or to get a way to understand which careers we can take up. We're also doing a new privacy certification for the people who are early in their career, so that you understand privacy, because privacy is becoming a very big space still with digitization. When everything becomes digital, they have to control privacy. When you submit your information to someone, where does it go? What do they use it for? Something like that. So they also want to do that for the people who are in their early careers, The other initiative that ISACA plans to do is to have, so from research, ISACA found out that people at the universities maybe the lecturers do not have content to put in their curriculum to ensure that it is delivered to the students. So ISACA decided it will provide the content to the universities, because the universities are the ones that have the mandate to teach the students. Then at the university, the students will learn this curriculum. Then the local chapter, in this case, which is Kampala chapter, will provide mentorship and scholarships for those particular programs that that relate to ISACA. But the end goal of this will be to ensure that at the end of the day, the people who have studied this content are able to work, to go into society and work. So it will be more like a partnership with now the companies that can be able to employ these young people. So with all this, I'll show you what is in stock for these emerging trends we've talked about.
Excuse me, Mr. Alan.
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. As you proceed, just bear in mind that we have a limited time, so try to wrap up before we come to the questions and answer session.
Thank you very much. I have, I think, 2 to 3 slides to go. I'll just explain 2. So this is these are higher education trends. It shows the formal trends and the informal trends. The formal trends are the education we're all taking. Then there are informal trends, which are more dynamic, where you go, you learn something in a short time, and are able to get a hands-on experience, and you can apply it. So it's to encourage you to be able to take up these areas, which include boot camps, short courses, and to be able to, this will help you to enhance your information or to change who you are. These are some statistics that have guided ISACA in coming up with new courses, which are on the next slide. So on this slide, ISACA has decided to create performance-based certifications, and these may not be the actual names of the certifications, but it's because they are still in development. But we hope that in around March, April 2021, they'll have come through, and they'll be out to the public, and people will be able to take them. So these are the most common areas, the growing trends in technology, where people may be able to get educated, and they become very important as they go and look for or decide to start their careers in IT audit, security, IT governance, in those areas. I think I'll pick out like 2: data science. With the digitization, data science becomes very important, because we have to understand this data. If we don't understand it, it becomes useless. And when you understand the data, you can come up with it forms new products in the industry because of what you're seeing in the data. Then on the emerging tech, I'll talk about artificial intelligence. It's all over the place. It's guiding automation of the digitized environment. And if we take this up, this should be able to guide us on how we move our future. So on the right-hand side, I think your left-hand side, yeah, your right-hand side, you'll see the components of the course. That's the plan, to have hands-on labs, so that when you go to the lab, do these things. So when you go out there, you're able to do them with ease, because you've already done them in the lab. Do case studies. Case studies support the lab hands-on, so that you're able to, you become basically competent in a very short time, and you hit the road running and join the market. Thank you very much, Nicholas. I'll stop there and hand over to you.
Thanks so much, Mr. Alan, for your insightful presentation. You've given us a lot that is housed under ISACA, and I think ISACA is just coming to take the market in developing the new professionals and empowering the already existing ones in taking up their careers. We're going to have questions answer session. And I'm supposed to receive the questions from slido.com, and if they are not there, I will be sharing the ones I have as we wait for the members in the audience to participate. To begin with, this goes to Morris.
Yes, Nicholas, I'm here.
Okay. I would like to ask you what IT domains or domain areas
Yes.
do we find challenges in filling up the candidates? The experience you have in the industry, I'm sure you've encountered that. So I would like you to inform the audience about those domain areas which are challenging to fill, and then we request the audience to maybe look out how to fill up those opportunities.
Yes, thank you very much, Nicholas. It's an interesting question, and I beg to be allowed to start from home. I am an information systems auditor, and that is one of the areas we actually find very little skill in the market, so to say. If you realize, a few years back, an auditor was all about accounting. But as time moved, and actually, if you went to the law of Uganda, an auditor is defined as, to paraphrase, as a member of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda. But is that the limit of an auditor of today? The answer is no. So when we are looking now for an information systems auditor, or even in other fields, because there are other technical areas of audit, you find, one, you're looking for someone that has got exposure in that field. Two, you're looking for someone with analytical skills. You're looking for someone who has at least some fundamental knowledge in managing risk. In other words, someone who can look at a process and ask themselves what can go wrong, and how best can we either come out of the impact of what has gone wrong, or even prevent that from going wrong. So you find that that is actually one of the skills or one of the domains that we struggle to fill. If I still start from home, I work in the financial services sector, you will find that as a requirement from the regulator, every financial institution must have an information systems auditor. Now, depending on the scale of the operation, you might need 1, 2, 3, or even more auditors. But you will find institutions actually struggling to fill these because the skills are not in abundance in the market. If I spread out again, Alan talked about analytics, data analytics. Data is the oil of now, okay? And every institution, or even just you, the individual, on every day you are generating a lot of data, be it on your Twitter, on your Facebook. And by the way, this amount you generate on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn alone is enough to analyze someone when you want to make a decision to either hire them or not. You may not even have to look at their transcript, okay, if you take that as a given that they have gone to school. What they produce on their social media is enough for you to tell what kind of person they are. But who has the skills to analyze this data? The technology is there, okay? But have you taken trouble to learn some structured query language? Have you taken trouble to learn as simple as how to use Excel? We can start with the basics. So in short, these are some of the skills in audit, information security, risk management, data analytics. Those are some of the areas where the skills are actually scarce on the market.
Thank you so much, Mr. Morris. I'm sure the students and the parents and the education facilitators who are in the audience must have had they need to reinforce on the field of auditing, risk management, data analytics, big data, and very many others. And then I'm going to have another question, this time for Mr. Alan. You've talked about opportunities at ISACA, and I would like to ask you about mentorship. I'm asking, is mentorship important? And at ISACA, how are you offering mentorship to the students, especially those who are pursuing careers in the IT field?
Very much, Nicholas. This it's a very important question because this is one of the reasons why we have these sessions. So this is sort of the first bit of the session where we start by in telling you about it, because if you don't know about it, you cannot be mentored into it. But ISACA has over, I think, 500 members here in Uganda who are working in different places, who are basically the guys who can guide anyone into joining the fraternity or that space. So we come here to tell you guys about it so that you gain interest. When you get interest, we have a program. You just let us know that you would need to be mentored, at what level, what you're interested in. But the other thing I think what people need to know about mentorship is an initiative of the mentee. A mentor cannot come and mentor you if you're not willing to be mentored. So it's more like you have to come, let us know, then we can support you in that space. All we can do is let you know that there are mentorship opportunities. If you're interested, write to us, let us know. We are on all the social media platforms, and we'll find you a mentor. I think I've answered your question, Nicholas.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Alan. You've emphasized it that yes, we have mentors and we can be reached out to at any time. And you mentioned that the social media handles are open, and I think they should search for ISACA Kampala chapter. As we come to an end, I would like to ask you to wrap up while answering this question as well. Any of you can do that. Do you see any gender gap or digital divide between the ladies and gentlemen who are seeking careers in the STEM field, and how ISACA is looking at addressing that?
If I may give it a shot before the academic relations director, I think it sees to close. One, I think technology is one area, because it's very much about one's skills of analysis and thought process. It's one area that I think makes the ground level. So it is up to you. However, because of some historical factors that may bedevil our society, ISACA has got a She Leads Tech program where it seeks to bolster the confidence. It's not about lack of skill, to bolster the confidence of the females, of the ladies, to take up leadership in technology. So as per skills, I think the ground is level. Because of the historical issues we might have, ISACA has brought in She Leads Tech to ensure that it bolsters everyone's confidence to actually take up leadership in the technology field. And I would encourage you out there to take interest in the She Leads Tech project of ISACA. Thank you.
So I think I'll also add on to that. The space ISACA is going into is to make sure it bridges gaps in those areas that seem not to be open to everyone. That's why we come here, try to enroll you, the young ones, into this mentorship program. Then the She Leads does the ladies, so that everybody, there's a level ground for everyone. People who are disadvantaged, people who cannot access professionals, we bridge that gap and ensure that everyone is up to speed, basically. They are no disadvantaged people. So that's what ISACA is trying to do with She Leads Tech and the mentorship program and the students program. Thank you, Nicholas.
Yeah, thank you so much, our panelists of today, Mr. Alan and Mr. Morris. Mr. Alan has emphasized the point that ISACA had a lot of opportunities for professionals from various backgrounds and is also preparing for professionals with different experiences. And Morris has told us that we should get motivated to find our career options that suit us, specialize in them, pursue them, and then we publish our success. Thank you so much to all those who've been listening to us or watching us. We close the session. Thank you.
Another session which relates to the curriculum and how the curriculum can be positioned to make sure that it supports these causes. Thank you.